Hello, I know I haven't made a video in a long time, especially this long, but let's talk about Lucinda Berry's The Perfect Child. The book is about a girl named Janie, and she gets adopted by a doctor and a nurse couple, and madness ensues. Severe madness. My initial thoughts were that the book was not really plotted out well. I think there was a lot of research done into social work and the psychology of children and abuse and PTSD psychology, but I felt like the plotting of the book was really, really slow. I was very interested the whole time. There was this sense of dread always going through because you never really knew how bad it was going to get with Janie. She did horrible things, from hurting animals to hurting other children. She would say creepy stuff. There was one point where she hurt this girl. She went through many schools, and she hurt this little girl at her school and ended up getting expelled and they asked her why was she hurting her, and she said, "I liked seeing her cry." If that's not fucked up enough. But they get her a cat, and the whole time, you're just sitting there going oh God, what is she gonna do to this cat? What is gonna happen to poor little Blue? Oh, this poor kitty. And I'm just holding my cats closer while I'm listening to this book because I just know something's gonna happen. But this underlining sense of dread that some really good horror authors like Zoya Stage does was never brought to fruition. I never thought that the book got there in a way that was shocking or surprising. I thought the book lacked a lot of horror elements to be considered as good as everybody was saying it was. The book was kind of silly. I thought the twist at the end was almost forgettable because I don't even really remember it. I know what it was, and I'm not going to spoil that for y'all if you want to read it, but it was a little fantastical for me. It was a little Chucky-ish, how? And then the deaths were sad at most, but I did not think that any of them were devastating. I just was very underwhelmed with the whole book. I listened to it, and so the audiobook had a lot of errors too. It was very abrupt and would take you out of the vibes. The audiobook, you could tell, was also edited in different locations, so there was some background noise in some, and some had no background noise, and there was 3 narrators, which I thought was very cool. I did enjoy that immensely. There was a narrator for the mom, Hannah, the dad, Christopher, and the social worker, Piper. Loved Piper, thought she was such a caring, beautiful individual person. Hannah's struggle the whole time was intricate, and you felt invested in her. Christopher, he was a forgettable character. Janie, I wish there was more put into Janie's perspective. What was she thinking? How was she going through this? What was going through her mind would have been great to hear, and probably added a level of terror that was lacking. Overall, I would not recommend the book. I thought it was very, very boring. But that's just my opinion. Bye, guys.